Welcome to this week's Career Spotlight Explainer. Instead of just chasing whatever trend is hot right now, we use this series to really help you align your natural abilities with a future that actually fits who you are. And today we're spotlighting an absolutely thrilling and critical field, forensic accounting. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to quickly cover what forensic accounting actually is, what these professionals do on a daily basis, the essential skills and high school subjects you'll need, the future demand, and finally, we'll look at the famous Satyam fraud case. Let's dive in.
Section 1. What is forensic accounting? We like to call it the financial detective.
Imagine a career where hardcore accountancy meets mathematics, and then you mix in a serious dose of detective thinking. That is exactly what this is. Forensic accountant is literally the practice of digging through complex financial records to find out exactly where money went missing and figuring out who made it disappear before it vanishes into some massive spreadsheet. Now, a super common misconception is that this is just your standard run-of-the-mill accounting or auditing. It's not. A regular accountant checks if your financial books are correct, but a forensic accountant, they check if someone deliberately made them look correct when they're actually not. They are actively hunting for deception, hidden right there inside the math. To put this into an Indian context that we can all instantly recognize, you've probably seen the news about UPI fraud, right? Where money just vanishes from a personal account because of a fake link or a bad OTP. Well, imagine multiplying that kind of investigation by thousands of crores and placing it inside massive corporate offices instead of just one person's phone. That high-stakes, intense environment is the real world of a forensic accountant. Section 2. What do they actually do? Let's look at the case of the missing margins. Let's break down a real-world scenario. Meet Ashok, a forensic accountant based in Delhi. He gets called in by a manufacturing company in Noida that suspects fraud. Their production is completely flat, but their raw material costs, they are mysteriously rising every single month, and the management has absolutely no idea where to look. This is where Ashok's detective work kicks into high gear. He doesn't just read the records the usual way. Step 1, he pulls 3 whole years of purchase invoices and vendor payment records. Step 2, he meticulously lines up every single vendor against their delivery addresses, their GST numbers, and their payment dates. He's basically setting up the data to make it reveal its secrets. And step 3, within just 2 days, he spots the pattern. And here is the massive clue he uncovered. Ashok finds this one vendor, supposedly based in Faridabad, that's been billing the company for materials every single week. But here's the catch. The GST number linked to that specific vendor doesn't actually match any registered business. So look at how fast this moves. By day 2, Ashok spots that fake GST number. By day 5, he actually traces the connected bank account straight to a relative of someone inside the company's own purchase department. By day 7, he submits a full, detailed report of the fraud, giving the company the concrete evidence they need to go straight to the police. Section 3. Essential skills for success, or as I like to call them, the hero's tools. So do you have what it takes? The first big one is attention to detail and logical thinking. You really have to notice when numbers just don't add up and genuinely enjoy connecting tiny clues to figure out the full picture. It's kind of like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Next up is curiosity. This is crucial. You can't just accept things at face value. You need to be that kind of person who relentlessly keeps asking, but why? Over and over again until you get a real, verifiable answer. Finally, you need clear communication and integrity. You've got to be able to explain highly complicated financial ideas in simple, everyday words so that non-experts, like police officers or corporate board members, can easily follow your findings. And of course, integrity. You have to care about doing the right thing, even when absolutely nobody is watching, and it would be far, far easier to just look the other way. Section 4, high school subjects to take. Let's talk about building your foundation. If you're a student looking to build the absolute right educational foundation for this career, you'll want to focus on this core combination of subjects: accountancy, mathematics, economics, business studies, and English. These are going to give you the numerical literacy, the business smarts, and the communication skills you'll need to really excel. Section 5, future demand and salary.
a fast-growing specialization.
This is actually one of the fastest growing specializations in Indian finance right now. Demand is growing at nearly 18% every single year. Major firms like Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC, and even various government tax bodies are actively hunting for these professionals. As digital transactions just keep increasing, this is an incredibly secure, future-ready career path. And that high demand translates directly into strong financial stability. A student just starting out can expect anywhere between 4 to 7 lakhs a year. But with experience and the right certifications, senior forensic accountants in India are pulling in between 18 to 35 lakhs a year. And honestly, that demand is only going up, not down.
Section 6, the famous Satyam fraud case, a true Indian corporate mystery.
To really understand the real-world impact of this career, just look at history. Back in 2009, the founder of Satyam, Ramalinga Raju, shocked everyone when he confessed to inflating profits and faking cash balances. But how do you actually prove something that massive in court? Well, KPMG conducted a massive forensic audit, digging through absolute mountains of records, and it was their irrefutable evidence that finally led to the founder's conviction in 2015. And this brilliantly illustrates our whole point. The Satyam case remains one of India's clearest, most famous examples of how forensic accounting can expose a fraud that looked, from the outside, entirely impossible to catch. It really takes a highly specialized mind to entangle a web like that. Forensic accounting is essentially what happens when your natural curiosity meets a strong sense of responsibility, turning confusing financial mysteries into clear, provable truths. If you've ever enjoyed spotting that one wrong number in a restaurant bill or figuring out exactly where a plan went wrong, this might just be a career that puts those natural instincts to real use. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Could you be the person who steps in to investigate when a company's numbers just do not add up? Think about it. Thanks for joining this explainer, and keep exploring.